Hello everyone, you're watching Newegg TV. I'm Jennifer, and today I'm going to be giving you a product overview of this MSI GT70 20K workstation laptop. Alright, so outside of the notebook, which is obvious, here is everything that comes in the box. We have a giant power brick that will power this as well as charge it, and its cable. And I'll set that aside now. Here is a 2.5-inch drive bracket. This can install either a regular HDD or an SSD. I find it interesting that MSI includes this because if you open up an MSI notebook to install your own hardware, you void the warranty, and it's almost as if they're giving you this, like saying, "Ha, go ahead guys, go ahead and try." But, you know, you obviously can send the notebook into MSI and have it upgraded or upgrade it yourself at the risk of voiding the warranty. The choice is yours, but it is nice that they include this bracket. I really think that this notebook could benefit from having an SSD inside. Okie dokes. More stuff. We have the Notebook Quick Start Guide, which is multilingual and includes a list of all of the various functions and features, physical features of the notebook, which I will go into great detail with you in just a few moments. Here is your driver's utilities and manual disk included. You can also download all of this from the MSI website, but it's nice that they include it in case you need it and don't have internet connection. Also, F3 hotkey recovery function. I didn't really see the value of these until recently when I was working with a notebook that I accidentally locked myself out of. So hang on to this. It is useful in case you forget your password or something silly happens. Also, you get a warranty summary and a warranty summary in French. Additionally, MSI would like you to contact their customer service and support in the event that you have any questions or problems with this product. They'd like to help you on that before you decide to return it to the retailer. Let's start off by talking about just the physical specs of this laptop. I'm going to note that it is pretty substantial for a notebook computer. It weighs in at 8.5 pounds. Also, let's take a little measurement here. All right, so we have a length of just under 16 inches, a depth of 11 inches, and a height of 2.5 inches. So taking a look now at the ports around the outside of the notebook, first thing up front you can notice are some LED indicator lights here. I'll go over those more in depth once we have it open and on. Spinning now to the right side. Here we have a Blu-ray disc rewrite drive, actually, combo drive, play your DVDs, play Blu-rays, and also write to Blu-ray, and 2 USB 2.0 ports. Spinning it now to the back. You can see a pretty substantial fin array here on the side. This is for lots of cooling happening in this laptop, probably a lot more than you'd notice in a regular notebook computer. I'm sorry, I realize I interchange a lot between laptop and notebook, but they're one and the same thing. Here we have a HDMI port. You also get a mini display port here, a VGA port. This is your Ethernet cable port for wired internet. Also, you get an RJ45 jack, and this is a Kensington lock for when you're in those unreliable situations. Now, it's great that this notebook will include all of these different ports because it is a workstation computer. You're going to want to bring it to perhaps office meetings, perhaps you have presentations to do. You never know what the hardware is going to be when you show up there. It can connect to multiple displays and supports 4K resolution on all of these ports, so that helps. Depending on what situation you're in, you have the availability to connect it to whatever is there. Spinning it now to the other side, other side, just kidding. Okay. Here we have your 3 USB 3.0 ports, a multi-SD card reader, and then all of the different audio ports. So you have a headphone, microphone, and then 2 separate external speaker jacks. This notebook is optimized with audio boost from Dyne Audio, so it can support larger external speakers as well as having higher end internal speakers as well. Because it's a workstation computer, you might be doing music editing, you might be doing some kind of film or sound editing, and you really need quality audio. So that's why they supply this. Now let's open it up and turn it on. So now taking a look at the overall internal construction and the features of the keyboard here and the display, You may notice if you're familiar with any of the GT70s or GT series MSI notebooks that this is pretty much the exact same chassis. Not a lot of physical differences to point out, so I'm not going to try to distinguish it from some of its other family members because they're very, very similar. Up top you have a HD internal webcam. Now this is 720p and a built-in microphone is here. The screen is 17.3 inches diagonally and is full high-def 1080p resolution. This is also an anti-glare screen, which MSI usually uses standard on most of their notebooks. I haven't seen one yet that didn't have an anti-glare resolution. They really like that because it limits the amount of blue light that you see on a regular basis. So if you're sitting at a workstation for a really long period of time, this will actually help preserve your eyesight from that. So MSI really likes to talk about that, and you can definitely get more information on their screens and their technologies on their website. Now I'm going to tilt it up here so that you can take a look more at the features of the keyboard, which is designed by SteelSeries. Now this is a chiclet style keyboard, and you'll notice it has this bright blue LED backlighting. This is also adjustable, programmable. You can make it have a rainbow effect. It's really cool, you know, feature for the look of, you know, what is otherwise just an overall very simplistic design to the computer, so that definitely makes it pop a little bit that you can do that and switch up the colors and whatnot. Now across the top here, there are some hot button features that are just touch toggles. You'll notice, as I said, sound by Dynaudio and the two side speakers up front, but also there's some quick features here, like this one is a quick fan hit, so when you're using the notebook and you notice it's starting to get a little bit hot, if you're taxing the GPU and CPU a lot, you can give it a quick boost of cool by manually turning on its cooler. It'll run for a set period of time and then automatically shut itself off. You might be able to hear it revving up right now in my mic. It really gets going, just gives it a real quick burst of cool on that GPU and CPU so that your all of your different functions can continue to run. Also, there's a brightness adjuster here and the airplane mode. Moving now to taking a look at some of the function keys across the top of the keyboard. On the F2 key, you see we have a quick access to multi-display. This is really handy so that you don't have to futz around with any of the Windows setting options to go find that, and you can just have a quick access right there. I also want to mention that this notebook is preloaded with Windows 7. It's some of the last of its kind, but this is a brand new notebook, and MSI has kind of heard the requests of their customers with that. A lot of people are still very attached to the Windows 7 interface, and it does make running some programs much easier. So if you're accustomed to that, this would be a great choice. Additionally, F3 will be a quick lock for your touchpad down below, and then we have F5 here is a setting for different eco features. So there's 3 different eco settings on this computer that will adjust various things from the resolution to the fan optimization, different things like that to help preserve your battery life. I believe this laptop has about a 3.5-hour battery life when it's unplugged. But even when it's plugged in, you might want it in eco mode so that it'll go to sleep faster or what have you, so that you use less power in case you walk away from it. F6 will give you quick access to your webcam, and F10 will give you quick access to the airplane mode in case, you know, reaching up here is a little too far. Anyway, moving right along now, down to the touchpad. I appreciate MSI's touchpad because it's not too large. It has this divot down into it. You can definitely distinguish between the wrist rest surface around it and the touchpad itself. I have this trouble that when I'm typing, my thumb will frequently accidentally hit the touchpad, but I feel like there's enough distance between the space bar and their touchpad that when I type on this particular notebook, I don't run into that a lot. Additionally, there is a quick touchpad lock feature key right here. So if you're doing a presentation or if you're running a presentation off in the notebook, say a slideshow or something that you need to walk away from and you don't want anybody to be able to quickly stop it or mess with your features, you can do just this quick lock button right here. Most people won't notice it's activated, and then that will keep your touchpad locked. It does have a dedicated left and mouse right click, and it also has kind of this kind of a rough texture coating on it. It's not totally smooth, so I feel like it gives you good feedback when you're scrolling and moving the mouse cursor around. Again, this is just my personal preference and observation on that. Okay, I apologize that you might be reading this sticker upside down. My stands function most effectively when the heavier end of the object is sitting on it, which is what's happening right now. I have the thicker end of the notebook down, but I wanted to show you the undercarriage so you can take a look at the underside, where the battery goes, some other features, and also I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what distinguishes this as a workstation computer versus its gaming cousins in the GT lineup. So first, taking a look here, we have a dedicated sub-speaker underneath, again going back to having that audio boost by Dyne Audio to have optimized sound on this. Also, here's your battery release, the void warranty sticker that I mentioned at the beginning. So when you go in to install that SSD, that's where you'll be punching through. And it's just kind of their warning, you know, open at your own risk. Additionally, if you look through the slots, you can see a lot of the cooling piping, the copper piping running through, and also some of the cooling fin array on the GPU and CPU. Now, this particular notebook is running the i7-4700MQ processor, and it also includes the killer E2200 networking card as well as the killer wireless N1202. These give you optimal internet access features, you know, so you can have really fast Wi-Fi as well as really fast Ethernet connection on here. Now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about dedicated GPU. If you're shopping this as a workstation computer and perhaps you're looking to other workstation computers, you haven't really looked into maybe some other gaming laptops or you don't game, then you may have noticed that some workstation computers have different types of GPUs. So this one has a dedicated GPU, which is a graphics processing unit that is separate from the CPU. So it has its own memory, it has you know, all of its own features that I'm going to go into in just a moment, but I just wanted to be a little bit clear on what that means. Now, the MSI GT70 gaming laptop includes the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 770 mobile card. This particular one has the NVIDIA Quadro K3100 mobile card. Now, they're both based on the Kepler GK architecture, the 770M being the GK106 and this one being the GK107. And basically what that means is that they have the same general structure with a few tweaks that set them apart. Now, some of the more important things you'll need to note is that on the gaming laptop with the 770M, you're going to get 760 shader or processing units, whereas this one, the K3100 mobile card, has 768. However, you still get 4 gigabytes of dedicated GDDR5 RAM in this versus only 3 gigs in the gaming computer. But the gaming computer has a core clock speed of 811 megahertz plus a boost which kicks it up to 1,000, whereas this one is running at a core clock speed of 706 megahertz. We haven't had a chance to benchmark any of our gaming or workstation laptops, but maybe that might be something we start doing in the future just to illustrate some of the differences. Now, the memory clock on the gaming laptop comes in at 2000 megahertz, whereas the memory clock on this is a bit faster at 3200. Also, the standard memory configuration on both, as I said, are GDDR5. So basically what you're looking at here with this GPU is you're going to be able to do video editing, you're going to be able to do photo editing, you're going to be able to do a lot of high graphics processing, whereas the gaming laptop is going to be optimized for running those graphics at speed. So when games are running, you're looking at a moving image that is constantly refreshing itself, it's constantly changing and dynamic, and so you need a GPU that's going to keep up with that, whereas this is mostly dedicated to graphics that are probably a little bit more static, or you know, video editing or doing some graphics design work on here. So it's just a little bit different. Also, this will not be able to run the gaming optimized NVIDIA engine, which it does include in its software. I kind of found it funny when I turned the notebook on because I found, oh, I can use the optimized engine with the NVIDIA. But it says that it's not optimized for gaming. There might be some tweaks that you can do with that in that software if you want it to be dual purpose. I think it probably could handle it. Also, the memory inside, we have for storage a 1 terabyte 7200 RPM standard hard disk drive. I showed you the bracket. The temptation is always there to bust that little seal and put in an SSD or whatever you might want to run. I think the GT70, especially the Dragon series, does include SSD, and I think some of the other gaming notebooks that I've seen are running RAID 0, which is, again, usually a gaming specific design. But as a workstation computer, if you're just using it for professional or academic purposes, you probably won't need that feature. So definitely consider your needs, consider your notebook needs, and then you know, when shopping, those are some things that you want to take a look at. Also inside, we have for memory. Now this is separate memory from the dedicated GPU. Your separate memory is, you get 16 gigs of DDR3 memory, running at 16 megahertz. So that's just your system memory running your CPU. That's completely separate than the DDR5 memory running in your GPU. Okay, and I think that covers all of our internal specs. Here's a quick demonstration of how this workstation laptop can be used to display on multiple monitors using one display port. I did have to use some not included external hardware for this, which includes a external DisplayPort splitter and a micro DisplayPort to regular DisplayPort adapter, plus the cables for the two monitors. It is important also that when you are hooking it up to multiple monitors that you make sure that they all have the same DisplayPort on the back. So monitors have a couple different options for displays. You need to make sure that when you're routing everything to one DisplayPort on the back of the laptop that they're all connected the same way, which we've done here. So in order to configure this, you simply, through Windows 7, this only applies to Windows 7, you right-click anywhere in the middle of the desktop, select Screen Resolution, and then it will show you how to configure the appearance of your displays and detect that there are multiple monitors plugged in. So monitor 1 is the monitor or the display on the laptop. 2 and 3 are the screens to my left, and it will default to whatever the recommended resolution setting is. Now, because the resolution on the laptop is set to, let me bring up one here. So because of the size of, the size of the display on the laptop, when it transfers it or duplicates the desktop to another screen, it will duplicate it in the same size, which is what is happening over here to my left. Okay, but this is useful so that you can, you know, take and put things on multiple screens. If you're doing a presentation and you want to be able to you know, see things on a few different screens at the same time. Maybe you want your internet browser open on one screen and a presentation on another screen and then something else up on the monitor. All right, well that wraps up this product overview of the MSI GT70 20K. I really hope you found it helpful. I did try to bridge the distinctions between what makes a gaming notebook from MSI versus what is making a workstation notebook. So if you liked this video or found it helpful, please like it and subscribe to our various YouTube channels. Until next time, I'm Jennifer, and thank you for watching Newegg TV.